Hi everyone, this is your video for Thursday and it is January 28th. Almost done with January already. All right, so I'm going to go through your SeeSaw. I'm going to talk a little bit about explorers and then about math. Don't forget that your writing is due by Friday, your cheetah or wolf. And again, you can watch, here's the example that we did for black bear and alligator. And here's the video I made. So make sure if you haven't watched it yet, make sure you do, or watch it again if you still need help. We had a writing Zoom today. Some friends did come, so thank you for that. Also, don't forget that your reading log is due tomorrow, and so is your vocabulary. All right. Let's start with explorers. So today we introduced our explorer simulation. And this is your packet. This was in your folder that you just picked up on Friday. Okay. I'm pretty sure most of you picked it up. I looked today and most of the folders were gone. So make sure your name is on the front. Okay. And then in the inside today, we read and highlighted the life of the explorer. Okay. We read and highlighted this all together. Okay. So you should have highlighted, and if you didn't, that's okay. You can read again and highlight. And I marked E for things that I thought that were exciting parts of the life of an explorer, like spices and jewels and perfumes and silk cloth could be found in places like China and the East Indies, and that's what they were searching for when they were exploring. Okay. Then I went through and I was looking for things that maybe were not so good while they were sailing. Okay. So let's see. Maybe finding the new world. That's also kind of exciting. So I'm going to put an E there for exciting. And then the other word we learned today was treacherous, things that were not good. Okay. So let's see if we can find some treacherous things. So it says the life was both exciting and treacherous, floating on a seemingly endless ocean on a small wooden ship. Sailors feared that if they sailed too far from land, they would fall off the edge of the earth. Remember what I said earlier today that back then they thought the earth was flat and not round. So that's what they thought was going to happen to them. Okay. And that several believed in giant sea monsters and mermaids. And yet, for all their superstitious beliefs, that's what this is. It's a superstition. Religion played a big role in the explorer's life. So I think that's pretty treacherous, having to sail on an endless sea. Okay. A day on board the ship typically began with prayer and ended in religious service. Okay. The sailors set to work in 4-hour shifts. So they had to do a lot of work. Okay. They did pumping seawater and filth, which is yucky stuff, off the ship's bilge, cleaning and wetting the deck, working the sails, and checking the lines and cargo. Because if those things break, then your ship is going to get stuck in the ocean. Okay. They slept on hard wooden deck. So again, I marked this a T because I think their life on board the ship was pretty treacherous. Okay. The Native Americans they later encountered taught them how to make and use hammocks. That's pretty exciting. That's a good part. But if you have a good encounter with natives, then you might actually learn something from them. All right. Meals were cooked on deck in a small firebox when the sea was calm, and if somebody has been lucky enough to catch a fish. Most meals, however, were eaten cold. Sailors often dine on tasteless, hard biscuits, sometimes with weevils. And weevils are little worms, little bugs, okay? And oatmeal, also filled with bugs. Bacon and dried meat, dried fruit, dried peas, cheese, and oil. And then their drinking water would go bad after several weeks. So again, this is treacherous. This is bad, okay? Unless there's rainwater to fill the water barrels. Sailors drank from a large store of beer and wine, which took longer to spoil. Spoil means to go bad. Okay. Many sailors died from either consuming spoiled supplies or not having enough to eat or drink. So maybe they got dehydrated or malnourished, or they ate too many things that were rotten. Okay. They can get really sick. Diseases were another problem for the sailors. There were no antibiotics. So this is a big one, kind of what we were going through right now with COVID, right? There are no antibiotics, no medicine. Okay. There were no vaccines, okay, or any other modern medicine. So many explorers died from a variety of illnesses such as dysentery, typhus, and scurvy. And the sailors would later spread fatal, which means can kill you, diseases like smallpox to Native Americans. So it was things that were very contagious. They would spread that to the people that were already living there. And that would, like I said, wipe out the whole population due to that illness. So that means everyone in the tribe would die. There are many other challenges these early explorers face. A dead calm. This is another treacherous, okay, in which no wind blew, which would leave a sailing ship motionless on the ocean for days, while violent storms, there's another one, okay, could tear the ship apart. Hunger and boredom could drive the crew to mutiny. That means they are turning against each other, and sharp underwater reefs could rip through the ship's bottom. Yet, despite all of these dangers and difficulties, many explorers sailed into the unknown and brought back knowledge and of what waited beyond the horizon. So there are some good things and some things that were not so good. So on SeeSaw, you are to, and I'm going to do this on a piece of paper in just a minute, okay? You are going to do taking care of ships, meals, disease, and other challenges, okay? So that's what you're going to be looking at today, okay, for this part. And I'm going to do it on a piece of paper for you, okay? So what were these things like? So the ship, meals, disease, I'm writing it down on a piece of paper, and other challenges. Okay, let me show you my page. Okay, there we go. And then you can write down like 2 or 3 things underneath each one. So what did they have to do on this ship? They had to sleep on wooden floor, right? That's where they had to sleep, which was no fun. Okay. They had to clean. Okay. And you could name some of the things they had to do. Maybe name a couple of the jobs that they had to do on the ship. Okay. And then meals. Remember how yucky those were? Sometimes they had to cook on deck if they were able to. And this was with a firebox. Okay. If they were lucky. And everything was cold and hard. And then maybe talk a little bit about the things that were cold and hard. And then make sure you mention that some food had bugs. And what happened to their drinks? Okay, talk about what happened to that. And then they ended up, some died. There's a lot you can talk about with meals, huh? All right, diseases. What did they not have? No antibiotics, no vaccines, basically no medicine. I'll put meds. Okay. And maybe name a couple of the illnesses they got. I'll write one down. That was dysentery. Actually, one of you knew what that was today. I was kind of impressed by that. Okay. And then maybe talk about how they spread the disease to other people. Okay. Other challenges would be things like a dead calm. Remember, if they were in the middle of the ocean and there was no wind at all, they would just sit there. Okay. Maybe storms. Okay. The crew turning on each other and fighting, and reefs would be another good one to write down. And if you want to make a box of things that were good, okay, what were good things? Maybe they found all their treasures, their trade. So there are some good things that happened to them. All right, let me make sure. Perfect. Okay. Right here is you're going to make a prediction from class based on everything we talked about, what the simulation is going to be about, what you learned about what it's like to be an explorer. Okay. What was the most exciting or treacherous thing you will experience? What do you think is going to happen to you and your crew? Okay. So write it in your notebook, or you can write it directly on here and then draw a little picture of what you think is going to happen. Okay. And attach a photo of that. And then here is where you're going to make a flag. So you all met with your crews today, okay? You decided on a ship's name. So you wanted to name your ship something, okay? Something appropriate. And symbol or logo, okay? That represents your ship and crew, okay? It should be colored and be able to stand up on its own. So like on a pencil or a ruler or a popsicle stick or straw or something. That way you can have it standing during each day, okay, when we do the simulation. So, really quick, I'll show you a couple examples I found online. Here they are. Okay. So there are a couple samples. These ones are on straws, okay? And you can use fabric, you can use paper. It's up to you, okay? On how you wanted to design that. All right. The next thing was math, and we did button dolls. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you finished. We were able to finish 100% of our math today during class and during groups. So, hopefully, you were on task and you were doing those things, okay? So, here was page 183, which I'll show you in a second, the one with granola bars. This was the task today. This one is not in your book, and we did this in our notebooks today, okay, which is the button dolls. Right, and home link and math boxes. All right, and we did every single page in class today. All right, so let me go through this so I can remind you what pages you were in charge of doing. So this is page 183, that first page on SeeSaw. Okay, this is the one with 10 children for the baseball team, and the coach gives a child 2 granola bars, right? Remember that? From a package of 24. So they bought a box of granola bars and there's 24 granola bars in there. Okay. And it's going to give each kid 2 granola bars and the coach gets the leftovers. So what do you need to find out? We're going to use words or pictures. We need to find out how many the coach is going to get. So what we did is we drew 10 kids. These are the kids on the team. Here's the coach and his box of granola bars, right? 24. And we're going to give each kid 2 granola bars. That's what these little lines are right here. I'm going to circle them so you can see them better. Okay. And in order to figure out how many granola bars there were, we did 10 kids times 2 granola bars. And that equaled 20 granola bars. There's 24 in the box. So we did 24 minus 20 to figure out that the coach is going to get 4 granola bars. I know some of you were like, that's not fair, but that's okay. All right, and here were your math boxes that we did in class and corrected in class too. Okay, so you should have been able to do that. And here is the button dolls. Okay, we had to figure out how many packs of buttons, if there are 8 packs, does Tanya need in order to not have any leftovers while she's creating these button dolls. And each button doll has 2 buttons for the eyes, 1 button for the nose, and 3 buttons for the clothes. Okay, which is 6 buttons total on each doll. So we drew our first doll here. 2, 3, there's 6 buttons. And then you go over to the pack and you cross out each button as you use them. So there's 4, 5, and 6. I had 2 left over here. So that means I have to draw another doll and buy another package. Okay, because I have leftovers. So here's my second doll. Okay, drew the 2 eyes, cross those out. Here's the nose, cross that one out. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm here. I still have 4 left over. So I can buy another package and make another doll. So here's my other doll, my third doll. 2 eyes, 2, 2. 1 nose, cross that one out. 3 buttons. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I still have some left over. I think I can make another doll. So here's my other doll. 2 eyes. Okay, 1 nose. 3 of those. Oh, I have no more buttons left. That's perfect. See? So now how many packages did I buy? I bought 3 packs of buttons. How many dolls did I make? I made 4 dolls. Okay, now let's figure out how many buttons were used all together. So how many buttons are in all of the packages? We did 3 packages times the 8 buttons, which is 24. And over here, we did 4 dolls times the 6 buttons, and that also equals 24. So these should match because that shows you had enough buttons to make all of the dolls. Okay, and you were supposed to just take a picture of this and put it on that slide on SeeSaw. Okay, and then here was your home link. It's the same idea. We're just drawing pictures to solve our problems. Okay, so this one says Danica lives 5 blocks from her school. She walks, I put a 5 here because that represents to school. She walks to school. So here's my 5 blocks to school and from school. So that's 5 more blocks if she has to go home. So here she is leaving school and she's going home. 5 more blocks home. Okay. Now let's see. She does this for 5 days each week. How many blocks does she walk in each week? So we talked that this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So this is 10 blocks total that she does every day. Okay. Times 5 weeks. That equals 50 blocks that she walks. Okay. This one was a really tricky one. Okay. So it costs $5 to join the art club. The club has collected $70 from new members. The club's goal is to collect $100. So they have 70, but they want 100. Okay. How many more members does the club need to meet its goal? Okay. So what we decided to do is each circle represents a person, a member, and we counted by 5. So this person paid $5. Now we have $10. Each person paid $5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, all the way to 70. And then we're going to count these to see how many people that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that is 14 people. So I did $5 times 14 people equals $70. Okay. Now, how many more people until I get to 100? Okay. So I drew these squares down here to represent new people. So 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Okay. How many more people is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people or members. All right, friends, I hope that helped. Don't forget to turn in your writing today. Extra math, Lexia. Don't forget those things.